In today's show, we look ahead to Monday in the NBA, who we're streaming in, what things we're watching for, injuries, all that stuff. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_Beeble, on TikTok at redrock_Beeble, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com and the promo code is Locked On. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. We're digging into Monday. There are 6 games on. It's not a great start to the week. 6 games Monday, 6 games Tuesday. It's not bad, but it's not great. So we're going to talk about what we're streaming in, injury options, and how we look at the next 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days in terms of a longer view for the week. So, warning.
Let's get it on, Gilly.
All right, the first game, the Pacers and the Hornets. Just changing that little subheader here on YouTube, what we've had. When we get towards the end of the week, we'll look at remaining games for the week plus games next week. But because we're on a Monday, let's look at how the schedule plays out for all of these teams. I hope that is useful for you. If it is useful for you, hey, I'm always interested in feedback when I do something a little bit different on the show. So if you are watching on YouTube, drop it down in the comments below. Just say, hey, yeah, I think that's really good, or maybe do this or do this. I'm always open to listening to those sort of feedback things. The first game we look at is the Indiana Pacers and the Charlotte Hornets, which for most NBA fans would be a game they don't care about, but for us we do, because there are a lot of different fantasy implications in this game. We know that Tyrese Halliburton is going to be out. I really don't expect that old Humpty Dumpty Benedict Mathurin is going to play. Maybe he does. We don't have an official ruling on that, but I don't expect that he plays. The other one is Chris Duarte, who's missed 2 straight now with ankle soreness. He's had that ankle problem basically all season. Wouldn't be surprised if he sat out more games here as well. For the Hornets, the big one is going to be Mark Williams.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Because he's still dealing with that thumb sprain. Now, I made a comment that when he heard it, I wouldn't be shocked if he was done for the season. I knew that he was going to be at least a week or so. But we're at that stage now where they're not telling us. They haven't told us, so I don't know where to put him. I don't expect Mark Williams to play. Again, I don't think that he's going to play the rest of the season. I do think that his season is over, but that is a guess, and it's just based on hearing little things without no sourcing. Don't take that as gospel, but the expectation that I have is that we don't see Williams again. We just don't know that at this point. Expectation is also that we don't see Cody Martin again, and of course, they're never going to update us on that. On the Pacers side of things, with the absences of Halliburton, Duarte, and Mathurin, Aaron Nesmith has actually maintained some level of consistency, and he's put up some really strong numbers. He's played 30 minutes in 3 consecutive games, and he is at least an option now. Now, he can always go 1 of 9 shooting, but the minutes inconsistency and usage inconsistency, if those players remain out, probably isn't there, which is great news. I also want to watch Isaiah Jackson because I just don't know what we're going to get. 26 minutes, 27 minutes, 2 minutes, 0 minutes. My working theory has been, I don't know if it's true, that he plays 2 minutes as the backup and Smith plays 2 minutes as the backup. Well, Jalen Smith was the backup for the last 2 games, playing 23 and 18 minutes. Do they switch it back to Isaiah Jackson here? I don't know. If we can get some level of confidence in it, and I completely just forgot that I put that thing in the subheader and didn't mention it. The Pacers go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday this week. The Hornets go Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So the Hornets have a really good back-ended schedule. But if we do see that Jackson's going then on Monday, then I do feel confident he'll be the backup again on Wednesday, and Smith will be Friday, Saturday. But again, we don't know that. And Miles Turner seems to get into foul trouble every single game, which boosts the value of those backups. For the Hornets, I do want to watch Kai Jones because his minutes have been up. He played more minutes than Nick Richards last game. Yes, Richards was in foul trouble, so that's likely why. But if Mark Williams is out, as we expect, if you're in a slightly deeper format, Kai Jones is on the menu. He's on the radar. And I don't think that he will necessarily split minutes with Nick Richards, but they're going nowhere. This guy was a top 20 pick last season, albeit a horrible one. Not worse than the one they picked before in James Bouknight. But maybe they want to see him get some opportunities here. And that might at least... He's got a good fantasy game, Jones. So I think he's got a better fantasy game than Richards on a permanent basis, honestly. And he'd be someone to watch. I also want to watch Gordon Hayward because 29 and 22 minutes the last 2 games. I get the feeling that with Hayward, his age, his body, that they are ramping him down a little bit. We'll talk more about ramping down when we get to Utah later on. But I do feel that we're going to have Hayward miss some games. They have a Thursday, Friday, back-to-back, 3 games in 4 nights to end the week. I wouldn't be shocked if there's knee soreness, shoulder soreness, or something creep up here for Hayward. And if he is out, then we really do lean into Dennis Smith. And for deeper leagues, we get more value into a Bryce McGowan's. That is, again, speculation. And we will see how that pans out. Bulls and the Sixers. The Bulls go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday this week. The Sixers go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So all of them play 4 games. They both play on the high volume Wednesday, Friday as well. In terms of ins and outs, Alex Caruso for the Bulls, the old rabbit hunter.
Be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
He's listed questionable, which I question. He left last game with a foot sprain, which he's had multiple times. They're listing as midfoot soreness. He left the game in a boot. There is no way. I honestly don't see how he is starting this game. I don't expect that he starts this game, but who knows? Honestly, they could do anything with this team, and I wouldn't be shocked. But I don't expect Caruso to play. I didn't expect Javonte Green to come back at all this season, but he is practicing and he is listed questionable. If he returns, then I don't know where they get his minutes from because they've already taken Derek Jones out of the rotation. It's going to impact guys like maybe it's Pat Williams, maybe it's Dosunmu. Maybe they just take Dosunmu out of the rotation completely and go White, Beverly, Caruso as that position to get Green some minutes. Green's not going to have much of an impact, I don't think. PJ Tucker is questionable for Philadelphia. Well, James Harden missed last game, but he will return. For the Bulls, I do want to see Patrick Beverley. And the Hornets actually have just updated the injury report. And no shock at all, Mark Williams is out. So Nick Richards is your 12-team league guy. And Kai Jones is your deeper guy. I just wish they would say that he's out for the season. He is out for the season. Just say it. It's frustrating. I don't want to watch Patrick Beverley because his minutes have gone down the last 3 games. But I do think that he's useful, especially if Caruso is out. And I also want to watch Kobe White, who's played 20-plus minutes in 3 consecutive games. He's adding some steals. He's not as high usage as he used to be. There are some assists. And if, again, Caruso's absence, White is ahead of Dosunmu at the moment. He's played more minutes than him for, bloody hell, like about 3 weeks in a row, every single game. So White is clearly ahead of Dosunmu. And he's at least, if Caruso is out, knocking on the door of a 12-team value, especially when you're looking for some threes with some sneaky assists and steals. For the Sixers, we saw DeAnthony Melton put up a really big game last time with Harden out, but I really have doubts of him maintaining that. His last 3 games prior to 34 minutes on Saturday were 19, 15, and 21. They do have a back-to-back at the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, so I guess there's a chance that Harden sits one of those, which would push Melton back onto the menu, and 3 mediocres and 1 good game might be worth it. The schedule's interesting enough where he can be used, but I also don't think that it's a must. And the other guy who's playing really well at the moment is Shake Milton, which I know is confusing. Shake Milton actually played more minutes than DeAnthony Melton in their prior 2 games, not including Saturday against the Pacers. He, like Kai Jones, is an interesting deeper league stream, a bit like Kobe White as well, probably a 14-team league guy, but things are trending upwards for Shake Milton, so we do want to watch that to see where that trajectory ends up. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy, but it's not daily fantasy with salary caps or thousands of people, it's player projections. So you might see Kobe White and look at his 3-pointers made. They might have it at 3.5, and you go, come on, that's probably a little bit too high, so we'll go less than that. Or they might have DeMar DeRozan, and they might have his points at 30, and you go, well, I love what DeRozan's doing. Let's go more than that. You go 2 to 6 of those into a lineup. You can win up to 25 times your entry fee back. It's easy. You can do this in under 60 seconds. You can do it in over 30 US states, and you can do it in the majority of Canadian provinces and territories. But it's not just the NBA. You can do it for Major League Baseball. You can do it for the NHL. You can do it for the men's and women's college basketball tournaments. You can do it for European basketball, cricket, NASCAR, golf, boxing, MMA, I don't know. There's so many. Well, I'm waiting for pickleball to come onto this list. It's not there, but disc golf is. So if you want to play disc golf, you can. So download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter the promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Wolves and Knicks. That is the next game. These are both 3-game teams for next week. The Wolves go Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. The Knicks go a weird Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So after Thursday, 3 days off for New York, which we know is not an ideal situation. But they both play Monday and they both play Wednesday. So some good starts to the week for both of these teams. For the Timberwolves, Jordan Nwora is listed doubtful, so we're assuming that he doesn't play. But interestingly, Anthony Edwards, who left that game on Friday with a severe ankle sprain, didn't play Saturday and was in a walking boot, has been listed questionable. I really have my doubts that he's going to play, but he is listed questionable, so we've got to take it for what it's worth, which is frustrating that we don't get clarification. They're doing the Lakers thing where they just list Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid every game as questionable, although the Lakers do it as probable. Rudy's there with the ankle injury and Reid is there with the calf injury. Of course, if Gobert is out and Reid plays, then we like Reid. If Gobert is out and Reid is out, then we like Luka Garza and Nathan Knight. But at the moment, they're both questionable. Austin Rivers also questionable. He missed last game with those. Well, actually, they said DNP-CD, but I'm pretty sure it would have been the back spasms. He would have played, I reckon, if Anthony Edwards was out, if he was healthy. For the Wolves, I do want to watch Taurean Prince because he started last game, played 30 minutes. He did nothing. But will they go back to him if Edwards is out? I don't know why they wouldn't go with a Rivers if he was available or an Alexander Walker, but they went with Prince. It didn't make sense, and they lost by 15 points. So what did they do with Prince here? And Mike Conley didn't step up either. We saw him step up the game before, and he played 38 minutes, but 26 only against the Raptors. I guess back-to-back is an impact there. Conley still is interesting as a 12-team guy, but with only 3 games this week, after Monday, meaning there's 2 games in the remaining 6 nights, I'm not sure that makes him a must-hold guy. But let's see what he's able to do. For the Knicks, we talked about the Manuel quickly quite a bit on the waiver wire show earlier today. His value is definitely down when Brunson plays. He becomes a borderline 12-team league guy. But with 3 games in 4 nights to start the week, he does remain a 12-team league option. After Thursday, no problem. Jettison him. Get rid of him. No point having him there. The other thing we want to watch is Mitchie Robinson.
And Mitch Robinson says, I'll take it from here.
He played 36 minutes on the 5th of March, 32 minutes on the 7th of March, and since then, not good. 20, 28, 24, 21, 26. And I'm very interested in those last 3 games, 24, 21, 26, splitting minutes with Hartenstein, who got 24, 27, 22. We hold Robinson because it's 3 games in 4 nights, but it also means that Hartenstein is a 3-game in 4-night stream as well, playing 20-plus minutes a night. Now, Robinson's out here pissing and moaning on Snapchat to all of his friends about how low his usage is and, I'm doing cardio. Okay, good luck. Good on you. Is Tom Thibodeau going to take kindly to that? I wouldn't expect so. So we'll see what that rotation looks like. We'll see what those minutes look like. But again, the value is here in the volume with Robinson, so we hold. But it also puts Hartenstein into the value-volume equation as well. The next game we take a look at is the Warriors and the Rockets. The Rockets are the only team here on a Sunday, Monday back-to-back. I don't know that they sit anybody, but Jayshawn Tate, Jalen Green, Kevin Porter have been dealing with some injuries, so there is a possibility there. The Warriors go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, so a 4-game week. The Rockets do the same Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. For Golden State, we're not expecting Andy Wiggins. We're not expecting Andrew Wiggins to play or Gary Payton to play. Who knows if they play at all during the regular season. For the Rockets at the moment, nobody is injured. I do want to watch Johnny Kuminga because he played 19 minutes against the Clippers, 26 in a start against the Hawks, then went to the bench and played 30. So we want to talk unpredictability. That's where we're at with him. I think he'll remain on the bench, but the fact that they gave him those big minutes, and he played interestingly well, or very well actually, against the Rockets is something we need to, or not against the Rockets, sorry, against the Grizzlies is something we need to watch. Will he be able to, and this team has lost 11 in a row on the road, and the Rockets are surging, can they get a victory? Is Kuminga actually worth a stream without that sort of uncertainty? I don't know that he is. I also want to watch Kevon Looney because Looney plays much better when Green is out. 34 minutes with Draymond out, 20 minutes when Draymond was back. Now, Looney was still pretty good, and he is a solid rebound streamer who does bring occasionally some defensive stats, but he's really rebounds and field goals. And the lower minutes make it frustrating. But let's see what his role is in this game with Draymond there and what they do with a Kuminga-Looney combination. The next game we take a look at is the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. Both of these teams go 4 games next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for both of them. We're not expecting Ja Morant to play even though his suspension is over. The Grizzlies have basically said he won't come in and play straight away. So no, that's no real surprise. We'll sort of know that. By the way, the Pacers made an update. Isaiah Jackson is questionable with knee soreness, and Benedict Mathurin has been upgraded to questionable. That is pretty wild. Didn't expect that. So there you go. So that's going to impact quite a few of these guys like Nwora and Neesmith if Mathurin and Duarte play. No guarantee they do, but it is going to impact them if that is the case. As I said, we don't expect Ja Morant to play, and Steven Adams will be out. For the Mavericks, Luka Doncic is questionable. With that thigh strain, we don't really... Actually, no, they haven't actually given the official status there. He's missed 4 games in a row. So we don't really know whether he is going to be available. And if he is out, Josh Green does get a little bit more, but it's not enough. Tim Hardaway gets a little bit more as well. Christian Wood gets a little bit more. But Hardaway's probably more of an option than what Green is, given what we saw last game. So we do want to watch what Christian Wood looks like because he played 34 minutes last game, 26 the game before that. Is Jason Kidd leaning back into Christian Wood? Is this just a Luka Doncic absence thing? Yeah, that's really key. Like you would think without Doncic, you'd want more offense from Wood, but it hasn't always been the case. But it was last game. So let's see if that's something that's able to stick. I also want to see what Tim Hardaway does in terms of minutes or whether he starts or not. Because he didn't start last game. They started Maxi Kleber instead, but we'll see which direction they go in this one. For the Grizzlies, I do want to watch Xavier T. Illman, who'd been under 30 minutes for, I think, 5 consecutive games and then went back over 30 last game. He went from 19 minutes against the Spurs to 32 against the Warriors. So you want to talk minute unpredictability? That's where we're at with Tillman. And that makes it really tough to consider him. But he was putting up a really strong stretch before that weird under 30-minute little go at things. And yeah, my faith is reignited by the 30 minutes against the Warriors. So he's somewhat interesting there. I also do want to watch Tyus Jones. I think this is the last time we get to use Tyus Jones in a big capacity. I do think Ja will return on Wednesday against the Rockets. I don't know that for sure. And that will probably make Tyus a drop. Now, if you absolutely need to get proactive, you can drop Tyus after this game. Otherwise, you might want to wait to see what the Grizzlies status actually is for Ja Morant for their game on Wednesday. Again, we don't know that. We're only assuming what they're going to do. Today's episode is brought to you by the Nissan Ariya, and the most electric player of the week is also brought to you by the all-new, all-electric 2023 Nissan Ariya. Joel Embiid has been amazing over the last week, so I'm going to give him the nod as the most electric player. True shooting of 77%, blocking over 3 shots per game, averaging over 30 points per game, and pushed himself right to the top of the MVP discussion. Absolute fierceness, power, elegance as well in what Joel Embiid is doing in lifting the Sixers right up into the 2 seed in the NBA's Eastern Conference. Exactly like the 2023 Nissan Ariya, a combination of fierceness and elegance. The 2023 Nissan Ariya packs pin-to-your-seat power and premium intelligence all in one EV. The all-new, all-electric 2023 Nissan Ariya, the EV for people who love to drive. Shop now at nissanusa.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Built Bar. It is March Madness, but it's also Built Bar March Madness because Built Bar, you can go onto their website, builtmarchmadness.com, and vote for your favorite flavor of Built Bar or Built Puff. Really easy. You want to rep your favorite flavor? Of course we. Why wouldn't we? I'm going to buy a t-shirt with my favorite flavor on it. But you can also win prizes. 50 Locked On listeners will win a free box of Built Bars, and 1 lucky listener will win a 12-month subscription to Built Bar, a delivery of Built Bars and a Built Bar box to your house every month for 12 months. What more could you ask for? Well, you could ask for a great tasting protein bar. You got it. You could ask for a low-calorie protein bar. You got it. You could ask for a bar that's covered in 100% real chocolate. Well, you got that as well. So go to builtmarchmadness.com right now to vote for your favorite bar or puff and pick up a box while you're there. You can vote every day in March, so hop in and support your pick. Built Bar is built different. The Kings and the Jazz. That's the last game of the day for Monday. Both of these teams play 4 games. The Kings go Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. So 2 back-to-backs, the only team with a Monday, Tuesday back-to-back. The Jazz go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. For Sacramento, Kevin Huerter missed last game with a hamstring injury. If it was any sport that was real about hamstring injuries, he wouldn't play again in this Monday, Tuesday back-to-back, but who knows? It's the NBA. I honestly don't expect that Huerter plays on Monday. It'd be asinine for him to play Monday, first game back-to-back, when you can give an extra day to rest it. it would be ridiculous. But we will see what they do. Ridiculous happens in the NBA all the time. Trey Lyles is also dealing with a shoulder issue. He missed the game on Saturday. For the Jazz, Colin Sexton is out without hamstring injury. The man on the street, Jordan Clarkson, has just been ruled out as well.
JordanClarkson.
And to no one's surprise, Lauri Markkanen has popped on the injury report with back soreness. They are really getting ready to shut things down. So I'd expect that Markkanen plays. They play 4 games, including a back-to-back this week. I think if you get 2 out of Markkanen this week, you should be pretty happy. And I would expect him, as of the week after, to not play again. That's just my guess. I think they are going to stop playing him. And this back thing has just started to creep up a few times. And I do think that we are getting to the beginning of the end for that. For the Kings, I want to watch Terrence Davis. They didn't start him. They started Kessler Edwards, which sometimes, I don't know, sometimes teams make weird decisions. They go, let's get these guys out there. Edwards is a 4. And you're going to play him along with Barnes, who's a 4, and Murray, who's a 4. It didn't really work out. Edwards played 19 minutes, and Terrence Davis and Malik Monk got the bulk of the minutes. Davis played 29, and Monk played 23, which is the direction they should have gone anyway. So if Herter is out, as I expect, Terrence Davis, I think, is an interesting stream. I would go Monk over Davis, but both of those guys get a boost in that situation. We also saw Keegan Murray step it up without Kevin Herter, which is great to see him taking on some of that extra usage. Now, he has been wildly inconsistent. Look at his games, 26, 15, 22, 30, 31, 35 minutes. So it's trending up, and I think if Herter is out, it does solidify Murray as a 12-team league guy, especially with a back-to-back to begin the week. For the Jazz, with Clarkson out, again, Ochai Agbaji is going to start. He's very much just a points and threes sort of a player with not much else, but he's getting a lot of minutes. I know a lot of Jazz guys are really talking him up. I don't see it as much as they do, but they are really talking him up. And the thing I want to talk about with Agbaji is Clarkson's out now, and Markkanen, I think, is going to miss time. And that is probably going to lock Agbaji in as a 30-minute-a-night player every night, because someone will be out. Clarkson, Olynyk, Markkanen, someone will be out, I would expect, rest of season, meaning that Agbaji is going to stay in a 30-minute role most nights. So let's see what he does. Can he be more than Corey Kispert? That's sort of what he is at the moment. I also want to watch Kelly Olynyk for the same reason I'm watching Markkanen. What do they do with Olynyk? He's great for now, but if they start sitting him out, then we drop him. Love what he's doing. There's no real player that they're going to replace him with, but as I say, they can move Markkanen to the 4, and I think Markkanen and Olynyk may end up alternating some stuff here, enabling Agbaji to stay in a solid role. In terms of injury replacement streaming, Mark Williams is out, so we're looking at Richards and Jones as options there. If Duarte is out, Nesmith and Nwora get the boost. I still think Nesmith and Nwora are worth streaming in, even if Duarte plays. The Mathurin situation contradicts it or confuses it a little bit. If Alex Caruso is out in Chicago, I go Beverly White Williams, or I could go Beverly Williams White. I'd still prioritize Pat Bev there. Jordan Clarkson, if he's out, we go Dunn as the major beneficiary there. Horton Tucker should already be rostered, but go Horton Tucker, Dunn, Agbaji in terms of replacing him. Anthony Edwards, I would go Nickeil Alexander-Walker there, even though they started Taurean Prince. I didn't think the Taurean Prince start worked, so I think we can get more out of Alexander-Walker, but that's more of a deeper league spot. If Gobert is out, we go to the Wizard of Naz Reid, and if he is out, we go to Luka Garza. If Doncic is out, we go to Hardaway, and then we go to Josh Green after that, or Reggie Bullock. And then if Kevin Herter is out, as I expect, we go to Monk, and then Terrence Davis as the 2 options there. In terms of back-to-back streaming, Monday, Tuesday, it's only Sacramento who's got that back-to-back combo. But if we just look to Monday of guys we can stream in, Dante DiVincenzo, Timothy John McConnell, great ad for McConnell, Tillman, Horton Tucker, Jordan Nwora. Again, that probably gets limited a little bit if Mathurin and Duarte play, but I still like Nwora here. Tari Eason, I do like him as an option. Dennis Smith Jr., especially if they do continue to limit Gordon Hayward. Watch that one. But Smith is putting up some strong numbers. And then Utah's Dennis Smith, Chris Dunn, similar numbers. Assists, steals, bad shooting usually. Good role with Jordan Clarkson out. Both guys are worth looking at. These next guys are all available in 90% plus of leagues, so deeper league ads. Luke Kennard, whose value has gone up without Ja Morant. Taurean Prince, if Edwards is out especially. Reggie Bullock might sneak into 12-team discussions. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, especially if Anthony Edwards is out. Kobe White, deep league guy, but especially if Caruso is out. Dwight Powell's an option. Joshie Christopher, that's just a deeper league one, but I don't mind it. And then Shake Milton, who is also playing quite well at the moment, is at least like a 14-team league stream option. For points leagues, these guys are available in 40% of leagues. Tillman, Horton Tucker, McConnell, DiVincenzo, KJ Martin, Kelly Olynyk, Jordan Nwora, and Dennis Smith Jr., all providing some pretty good numbers, I think, for Monday. If we look at the next 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you've got 3 low volume days, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So these are the guys that play or get the bulk volume by not playing on Wednesday. Now, if your league, we'll talk about the 4 days in total, but if your situation is that you can play someone on Wednesday, then the quality game aspect of this doesn't count as much. But if your Wednesday is jam-packed, then this is important. Cole Anthony has 2 low volume games in the next 4 days. So does Josh Richardson. So does Nick Richards. So does Isaiah Joe. Larry Nance, Malik Monk, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Isaiah Hartenstein. All of those guys have 2 low-volume games in the next 4 days, which, again, if your Wednesday is full up, there's a little bit of a benefit for paying attention to the quality games over the next 4 days. The next 4 days in total, including the 10-game Wednesday, well, we love McConnell's value with 2 games, even though it's only 2. We love DiVincenzo with 2 and Olynyk with 2. Hartenstein, the big beneficiary of getting 3 in the next 4 nights, especially with the way the minutes are being split with Mitchie Robinson. And if Quickly's available, we throw him into that list as well. You got Cole Anthony with 2, Taylor Horton-Tucker with 2, Xavier T. Illman with 2, and Kevon Looney with 2 games over the next 4 nights that are all available in at least 40% of leagues who could provide some value for you. In terms of looking at the upcoming chunks, there's only one team playing 3 games in 4 nights starting Monday, and that's the Knicks. No one plays 4 in 5. There are a few teams that play 4 games in 6 nights, so they're 4 games Monday to Saturday, enabling you to drop someone to add on Sunday as well. We're talking Jazz, Pacers, Sixers, Kings. So all of those teams get their 4 games out of the way before Sunday. So that does provide a little bit of extra value. And then if you do play into next week, there's no one playing 5 games this week, but there are a bunch of teams playing 5 games in 8 nights. The Mavericks, the Jazz, Pacers, Rockets, Sixers, Kings, Bulls. So they're all 4-game teams this week who also play Monday next week to give you an extra advantage heading into week 23. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Don't forget to follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on the Odyssey app. And if you are here on YouTube, thumb it up and leave your comments down below. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.